Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Death by PowerPoint, the only improvised show on LinkedIn. My name is Chris Bogue. I'm going to be your host today, and how's everyone doing? I'm talking to you all from sunny Chicago, Illinois, and I want to know where you're posting from today. So today you are going to be seeing not one, not two, but three talented performers giving PowerPoint presentations. But there's a little twist. The twist is they don't know what they're getting into. They literally have not seen the presentation. They've not practiced the presentation. They have no idea what's going to happen. But I do. I know what's going to happen because I've built all these PowerPoint presentations myself. And you can believe me when I tell you they are nothing but insane nonsense. And that's why this is fun. So if you're watching this today, jump in, let me know where you're commenting from, and let me know if you have ever improvised before. And let's have some fun with this. If you want to really give my guests a good time today, why don't you comment with some advice for how to not have a good PowerPoint? What's the worst possible advice you would give to somebody who's giving a PowerPoint? Go ahead, drop it in the comments. We're going to announce our first guest here today. You can see we've got three topics up at the top of the screen. Maximizing efficiency, 2025 forecasting, and email marketing. And you'll also notice down below, we've got two fantastic sponsors today. So today's show is brought to you by TLDV and Pitchfire. So you're going to be seeing some material from them later in the show. TLDV is the AI meetings assistant. And let's just be honest, it's basically Gong, but way cheaper. So if you're an organization who's looking to adopt Gong, just get TLDV instead. Same basic idea, but much more affordable. So you can check them out at tldv.io. And today's show is also brought to you by pitchfire.com. So if you're anything like me, you can't stand getting pitched all the time on LinkedIn and in your email, and that's why Pitchfire exists. They are the only website that will pay you to respond to salespeople. So sign up for pitchfire.com. They are a supporter of the show. Thank you very much for everybody who is jumping in today, and let's get this started. How about it, everybody? Today, we're going to get started. Let's bring out today's first guest, and today's first guest is going to be Joe Nowinski. So let me just pull him up here, and Joe, welcome to the show.
Hello. Hey, thanks, Chris. Looking forward to it.
Hey, glad to have you here. So, Joe, how are you feeling today? Are you ready to give a PowerPoint presentation?
You know, Chris, I'm always ready to give a PowerPoint presentation until I'm not, and then I just kind of fall asleep. So hopefully that doesn't happen during this production. I'm really hoping I stay awake the whole time.
It better not. You owe me a good show, Nowinski. All right, so...
Okay.
All right. So your topic is going to be maximizing efficiency. This is Death by PowerPoint. I will give you a countdown of 3, and let's get this started.
Goodbye, Synergy. Hello, Winergy. And I just want to welcome everyone again to the Villains meeting here today. The Villains Conference we hold every year here in sunny Washington, D.C., where all the villains like to hang out. And this is really about you. Trying to get rid of all those things that kind of go together, right? You might have your death ray and your freeze ray, and we really want to throw that out because in the end, we just need to win. And we're going to win with this tactic. The fact that in the end, you pretty much have to take out the other villains around you if you're going to have success against the other heroes. We have to remember the most important point about villains is we don't want competition. Competition is bad. Competition hurts us. Have you ever seen Dr. Doom and the Scorpion fighting each other? Never. Not once. And it's because they killed each other with this wonderful tactic. The fact that synergy is not real. They don't work well together. And it's because every villain brings their own unique flavor to the scenario. It could be growing into a giant creature that fights the Incredible Hulk. It could even be someone who controls space and time. And in the end, you really just have to kind of find your niche. Now, here's the thing. You might be like, oh, how do I find my own niche, Joe? Well, I'll tell you. It's mostly just having Paul doing most of the work. And you see, that's what people don't realize. You have to focus on your smallest henchman. And your smallest henchman is going to bring the most to the company. But it can take some time. Sometimes they might be not so good at drumming. Other times they might drop the radioactive substance down the drain so you can't use it against your foe. The reality of the matter is it kind of doesn't matter because this is Winergy, bringing everyone in the same evil fortress all together really gets you a chance to weed out the competition, weed out the things you don't like, and particularly, once again, find that Paul energy. Because in the end, everyone else is just fighting around you. You need to find focus. And you might be like, oh, Joe, how do I find focus as a villain? There's so many things to defeat. Well, clearly, we have to raise the children right. We have to make sure that the children know that being bad is actually being good. We have to raise the children to know that being a henchman is cool. Except when you're that henchman who does all the work, and then you realize, indeed, this synergy with my boss isn't working. And much like you would be like a Darth Vader or any other Sith Lord, you might overthrow your master by doing this. Teaching your kids to lift weights all together. Now you might be saying, how do I afford the diapers for this show? How do I afford the bottles? How do I afford all of these things that are going to make my villain fortress kid friendly so I can start them young? Well, most of the time you got to remember that your opponents, the heroes out there, they might have children, they might have cousins, they might have dogs. What do you do with them? You say, listen, give me those things, I'm going to take them from you, and I'm sick of this. And then you try to find some really big Winergy. And when I mean Winergy, I mean some really terrible weapon that's going to be totally against that hero and going to take him out. Because remember, once again, you don't want help. You don't want that synergy. You want to do this yourself. You're the greatest supervillain. It's all for you, Damien. It's all for you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Joe. I'm sick and tired of that synergy bullshit. I want some Winergy. Thank you very much. So, thank you, everybody. So, an update here because what would this show be without tech issues? It seems like we're having a little bit of problems with the broadcast right now. So, what we're going to do is we're going to keep this show just keep it right on moving because I'm pretty sure it's still we're still live on YouTube. If you're watching this on LinkedIn, you're probably not going to hear this part because I'll cut it out in the rebroadcast. But if you're backstage watching this, I'm still going to make you give a PowerPoint. So without further ado, let's give it up for our next guest, Celeste Burke. Celeste, welcome to Death by PowerPoint. How are you feeling about giving a PowerPoint presentation you've never seen?
I will say my resting heart rate is at 102 right now, so I would say my body is a little bit excited and freaking out all at the same time.
Hey, that just means you're ready for a regular day in the world of B2B SaaS and marketing.
Calories. I'm burning extra calories as I sit here, so that's a win.
Great. Well, let's not waste any more time. Your topic is going to be 2025 forecasting. Give it up for Celeste. This is Death by PowerPoint. This is Death by PowerPoint.
Hello, welcome to Camp Get Along. You're probably wondering why we're here, and it's for us to determine what is going to happen for the future of Best Buy. This is the 2025 sneak preview, and we have brought all of our top directors of maintenance. Yes, directors of maintenance. We are 50% sure that you're going to have a 25% forecast accuracy, and that's why we are deciding in 2025 to not put the forecast in the hands of those VPs, but to put it in the hands of the maintenance. So now is your time. You're so savvy with those tools. You have wrenches, you have screwdrivers, you also have those big things that move dirt around for our new stores. So we feel like you're well equipped with tools to be able to forecast, maybe 50%, 25% of the time. I hope you're all excited for what's coming. I know you don't know. You're probably thinking, what is a forecast? And I'm about to tell you why it's your time to shine. Now, all of the VPs of sales and salespeople who forecast, they're really selling a below average. But because our remote controls in the stores are doing so well, we have 120% markup on them. We realize it's because you're stocking the shelves and keeping the shelves clean. So wouldn't it make sense for you to take over the forecasting of how the stores are going to do in 2025? I know that's crazy, and sometimes a crazy hat day at work is often crazy successful. That's why we've brought you all here together and you're all wearing the Best Buy shirt. It's similar to wearing a crazy hat, but you're all wearing the shirts. Now, those shirts have a 30% markup. How does that relate to the forecast? We need you to get out your brooms and your mops so you can help us make the correlation to how we're going to increase sales in 2025 and have 100% forecast accuracy. I know what you're thinking. Celeste, tell us the bad news. The bad news is that you still have to do your maintenance job, and we do require 100% QA satisfaction, cleanliness in our stores, and a store score of 100%, or you'll lose your job. But you also have to have a forecast accuracy better than the VPs of sales and the sales team. So how are you going to do that? These are the ways that you can help. You can show up to work 15 minutes earlier and stay 3 hours later. Are you going to get paid for this extra time? No, because as you know, in working in your job, when someone gives you extra work to do, you raise your hand and you say, heck yes, I'm going to take this on, because that's what winners do. And winners are able to forecast at a better efficiency, 50% of the time at 25% better efficiency. So we are actually helping you do a better job. But also, you're going to have to go home at night and start educating your children about what you've learned about multitasking. We think this is going to help the future generation of the Best Buy employees, because you're going to be telling them about how to not only ensure the store is running and clean, but about how they can impact forecast efficiency at Best Buy by still remaining that markup of 120% on those remotes. What happens when we ask you for your money? Well, that is coming out of your own pocket. And do not worry, that 25%, maybe 50% of the time forecast efficiency will not have anything to do with what we are going to ask you to do, which is be like Gary and support the GoFundMe. We're only asking for $1,000 a month, which, given your new responsibilities, should be a no-brainer for all of you, right? Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you taking on this extra role for no pay, and here's to 50% increased efficiency in our forecast at 25%.
Thank you very much, Celeste. I was kind of worried about Best Buy there for a little bit. I'm glad to hear they're doing so great.
It's all about the markup.
It's all about the markup. Can a national chain survive on remote controls alone? I think they got this. So thank you very much, everybody. We're just going to keep rolling along here. And I'm going to bring in guest number 3, Joe Janes. Joe, welcome to Death by PowerPoint.
Thank you, Chris. Wonderful to be here.
Yeah, how are you feeling? Do you like giving PowerPoints?
I love giving PowerPoints, and I'm ready for death.
Good. Well, those are the only 2 things I ask of every single guest. So your topic is going to be email marketing. So thank you very much. Thank you, everybody who is watching this on YouTube right now. Apologies. We had a little trouble with the LinkedIn stream, but we're on YouTube. So check out Death by PowerPoint wherever you're watching. We're going to be voting in just a second. And this is Joe Janes with a presentation on email marketing. This is Death by PowerPoint.
things in the subject heading.
Hey, everybody! I'm bringing back here because we had a little problem with the presentation. We unfortunately weren't able to hear Joe. Very sorry. Yeah, I know. I know. Very sorry. You know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna make you do it again. I'm just gonna make you do that. We're just gonna cut out the beginning. We're gonna pretend like none of this happened because we make the rules here, and that's what this is all about. So I'm gonna stop this. It's going to be stalled for a minute. We're going to get the camera back in there, and then we're going to watch it again. So here we go.
Welcome. I made you richer.
Thanks, everybody. Hey, I don't think most people at home are able to appreciate the fact that you just gave 2 separate PowerPoint presentations, Joe. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I think the audio here was just destroyed. So why don't we take this moment? I'll just say it sucks to be everybody at home because Joe just gave the 2 most amazing PowerPoint presentations ever. But because of all the tech issues, go ahead and vote for who you want to win today, everybody who is still watching this at home. And let's get to the real reason why we're doing this episode today. Ads from my sponsors. Death by PowerPoint is brought to you by TLDV.
There's all sorts of competitions that salespeople have. Who made the most calls? Who made the most money? Nobody is competing for who spent the most time taking notes in the CRM. That's why you need TLDV. TLDV is the AI note taker that tracks everything you're doing from all the programs that your team uses and integrates with CRMs like Salesforce and HubSpot. Stop relying on your teams to take notes and track their own processes. Start using TLDV. Get your free trial at tldv.io.
Death by PowerPoint is also brought to you by pitchfire.com.
Do you feel overwhelmed because salespeople are constantly pitching you? Well, shut your whiny mouth and sign up for pitchfire.com instead. Pitchfire is the only website that will pay you to respond to salespeople. What are you waiting for? Quit writing your angst-filled LinkedIn post and go sign up for Pitchfire today at pitchfire.com.
All right, and fuck it, Joe, you're the winner. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Joe Janes, you've been crowned the smartest man in the world. Thank you to Joe Nowinski and Celeste Burke for their amazing performances. Thanks to our live streaming platform, Ecamm. You tried your best. We'll be re-airing this on LinkedIn. And have a great weekend, everybody. Thank you very much.